You already know what it is.
Yes. We on. All right. Alrighty then. Is my mic on?
Shawty made that ass clap, she don't need no clothes. High fashion, like gold, yeah.
Starting off. Oh, wow.
I put some ice on you cause you got a cold. I know I gotta get my shawty on go. Got that ass to the floor.
Hey, happy
Saturday. Is that okay? Is it okay if I call you my pride, baby? I ain't no player, I just got a lot of faith. But let me tell you, I like you a lot, babe. I wanna start at the top and the bottom, babe. Then you wanna shoot with the red at the bottom, babe. You know I like when you run at the top, babe. Shoot, ain't yo. I'm only doing cash, I don't need promo. I pull up, high rise on the fofo. Inside Coco. Feeling like you inside my heart. And I keep up petty cause I don't do facade. You can see my diamonds even when I'm in the dark. And since you Shawty made that ass clap, she don't need no high fashion, like gold, you are G-Wagon, or the road. I put some ice on you cause you got a cold. I know I gotta keep my shawty on go. Drop that ass to the floor. You ain't gotta do it, none of these niggas. If you having the beans, is that okay? Is it okay if I call you my pride, baby? I ain't no player, I just got a lot of faith. But let me tell you, I like you a lot, baby. I wanna start at the top and the bottom, baby. You wanna shoot with the red at the bottom, baby. You know I like when you right at the top. If I hit it better, baby, she gon' hit the sidewalk.
Hey, happy Saturday, everybody. We are back in the building. Was out of the building last week because we had a super amazing experience last Saturday at the IX Center at the car show. That was a whole vibe. Like, that was fun, wasn't it? You went on Friday. I love my sister on the radio, my radio sister, welcome to the BBW show, Stacy. She was so gosh darn cute. She got on my nerves. She's so cute. I love it. I like when somebody can be extra because people say that. I don't ever think I'm extra. I just think that I'm just me, which is a whole vibe. But her energy is ridiculous. She got a whole race car outfit. I said, now that's how you take your job seriously.
Right.
That's what you do. She made me step my game up, and that is what we gonna talk about today. Okay, I got a couple things I want to say first. Got a shout out to the producer today, one of my favorite people. We got Ism on the ones and twos, so you already know it's gonna be a vibe.
Look, I'm mad because all my tags is hidden from me right now.
Fine.
Right.
So yeah, and he know I'm tired because we was having a great time last night together at Stacy's show, and I left because today is my twins' birthday. Everybody stop what you're doing and say happy birthday to Mia and Maya. They turned 20 today. So happy birthday, babies. I love you. 9 times out of 10, they like one of my biggest supporters, for real. If none, I got four kids, y'all. 4. And if out of the 4, somebody gonna listen to my show, it's the twins. They are the only ones that really listen. I love all my kids though, but they're just such sweethearts. But I couldn't even sleep. Huh? Hey. I need another happy birthday. They turned 20. I need a 20-year-old birthday song.
A 20-year-old?
I need a 20-year-old birthday tribute.
Let me try.
What up, Tara? Hey, BFF.
That ain't it, is it?
That ain't it. We know it. We need some. It's your birthday. Anyway, it's gonna come in. It's their birthday all day. Shout out to their birthday. And then I'm gonna be real sweet and nice, y'all. Because it's also their daddy birthday. So happy birthday to my ex-husband. Happy birthday to my baby daddy.
It's your birthday too then.
Oh, it's my birthday.
Yeah, you gave birth.
Let me tell you, I made a post on Facebook that said I was like, I have spoiled them so much. Like I created monsters, and I realized that I've been spending so much money that I wouldn't have bought me something special. Because I was like, I ain't about to keep spending on nothing. No, it made me feel like I needed something for this.
Right, exactly.
But anyway, I'm blessed. I have amazing 2 young daughters. They are both entrepreneurs. They are very inspirational, and they actually came in here. I had them on the show. They're entrepreneurs. They know who they are. I wish I was like them when I was 20. Oh my gosh, imagine where I'd be, but I'm where I'm supposed to be. But today I got a super bomb guest that's coming on. We got Pastor Cal of the City of God, and he's coming on. Can't wait to talk about that. You know him?
No, I'm not.
You heard of him? Okay, yeah, your whole vibe. It's a different. We'll talk about it when he get here. But I feel like I can connect with him. One of the reasons why is I used to be the youth director for a very long time before COVID hit, and I always been a church girl, but I always been a vibe too. And some people feel like you can't be both, but I'm always going to be just me. And I think that's why church runs people away sometimes, because they like, if you're not going to be perfect and be this person, then you really can't be a child of God, or they frown upon you, when that's not true. And that kind of runs it away. And I'm only going to be me. And that's fine. People have their opinion. I don't have any problem with how people want to think. Your religion, the way you do things is all up to you. I don't doubt anybody, but I need to get this number. But one of the things that I do feel like is you could go astray if you can't be completely you, and I can't be nothing but me. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? So what I was saying earlier about Stacy making me step my game up, we're gonna get into that, because I've been tripping for real. And y'all know, if you've been listening to me, I'm trying to do something to give my listeners some information. If you know me, I'm like super positive vibes. I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna do this. I know I'm gonna be like, I'm born from greatness. I'm gonna be great. I got amazing things that's gonna happen in my life. But 2022, I'm so there. Like, I know that God is like super all over my life, and I can't wait to. I say pay attention to what's about your journey, what journey you're on, because sometimes you gotta let something happen. That's why you gotta chill for a minute. Like when you're going through some things, I'm about to connect that in a second. When you're going through some things, don't flip out about different things, or when you see something, kind of embrace when you see it's something different you might be doing. And then, because one thing is, God's gonna keep putting that in your life until you go boom, to the light go off, and He like, you got what I'm trying to tell you. So I'm gonna tell y'all what's happening with me. I'm a purpose coach. Hey, Trisha, what up?
I thought it was a ghost in the room. I forgot your phone was over there. Oh.
Dang, everybody keep. So that was. Let me tell him what it was. I am about being a purpose coach, but I kind of like focus on. I get a lot of female, but I have been telling you guys that in 2022 I have been coaching a lot of men, right? And so here's the thing. I see and I deal with people who need to heal. And that's why I'm not a life coach. I'm not a counselor at church and all that. I am a purpose coach. I am designed, and my gift is being able to make people find their purpose so that they can live truly into their greatness and become awesome and happy, and don't let everything get to you, and different things come with that. And knowing your purpose is really the key to healing and being able to move forward into your greatness, right? So anyway, because of that, I've been dealing with a lot of women. So I see the different issues. And one of the key things that I have noticed, and it's been coming up, is that men are a big part of the healing process for a woman, right? And that a lot of issues are coming from hurt and pain, whether it's coming from their daddy hurting them, from their children's father, or just a bad relationship, some kind of way, right? And so I never do the victim mentality. A victim mentality, we've all been there. When you're there, you stay there. Hey, come on in. But it takes a minute to get there. You got to love yourself. You got to go through some things that help you heal to not have a victim mentality. Everybody is a victim of the victim mentality, right?
Right. Oh, yeah.
So,
Amen to that.
but what I have noticed and where I see God is aligning me right now, and I'm like, okay, like I got it. I mean, I can't get it no more than what I got it right now is, okay, you see the issues, you know it needs to happen with a lot of the women and men, and you already know, which I tell you, love heals everything, really does when you really have that genuine love in your life and you can be loved. However, the key to it is that we got to heal the men. It need to be some healing in the community and a lot of healing with men. And the reason why I'm saying this is because of these reasons why I know I'm being pushed there. Our guest is here, but I'm gonna finish this moment and then we're gonna introduce our super awesome guest today. Is everything that I am doing right now, everything I'm being pushed to do that I'm not looking for. I'm chilling. I got enough to do, right? Is like partnering up with like super amazing men that really want to make change and that are vulnerable and got that leadership quality, that manly leadership quality as well, to be able to take on some of the issues. And little old me getting partnered with them, and I see where God's pushing me with the, if you saw with the fatherhood, I guess kind of like the fatherhood initiative, but really it's just going to be a conversation with a bunch of men, and women are welcome to come to on April the 30th. Check my page. I'll be talking more about that later. But that just came about with me going with James, who just left. Shout out to the entertainment club. Or James still here, isn't he? Okay, so James probably don't even know all of this, right? So I go to a meeting with James for what we just talked about, how me and James on a whole nother level with this, the buzz, buzzworthy.
You was looking at me like, what? You got on the whole buzzworthy. You got on the whole buzzworthy outfit right now.
That's why Ian's got my buzz.
Right.
I need to hear my back. Thank you, Ian.
I'm
You
hanging on
did that
every
to me,
word.
but don't tell nobody why. He did that. I was a little slow motion today, y'all. So with Buzz Worthy, we go up there for a meeting. I actually told you about this too. And I meet this gentleman, Lawrence Lane, and he has the movie theater, Garfield Heights. Did you know it was a movie theater there? No. Anyway, he bought it. There's a church going on right there now, and me and James are going up there to look for a place to film our new show, Buzzworthy. Okay. And literally, James, this DJ called that James needed to talk to on my phone. So this is how things work. This is how my energy just like, it's crazy. My phone ring is DJ. Shout out to Jake C. And he called for something we need him for. I get him my phone. They connected on my phone. And the guy walks over and we ended up having a conversation. And I was telling him about what me and Wall Street West do on Sunday with the poetic therapy. And he was like, I need something like that. I'm gonna fast forward because we got a lot to talk about. And now that has blossomed a whole new thing where we're partnering up to do something on April 30th. And it's all about men, right? That's healing, okay? And then that's one thing that's coming. Buzzworthy, James, who y'all know is super amazing with everything he does. That's a magazine I write for. James is a really great guy. I mean, you know that. I hope they hear me. You better say it. Yeah, see, and he know it too. And James feeling himself. And for me to be partnering with somebody, you're gonna have to feel yourself. I got proper reason to be feeling my goddamn self. This is Pastor Cal, by the way.
How you doing, Pastor? How you doing, Pastor?
See, that's what I'm talking about. That's why I love him. I always.
I apologize.
You on the show? Anyway.
I apologize.
So, but y'all know James he's amazing at what he does and all the great things. He can quit his job. He got all kind of stuff. He got me hooked up to do the when I did the Nene Leaks thing, and then we all going to Essence Fest, and that's gonna be so. So that's James. Anyway, so I'm partnering with James, another guy that wants to make a difference and talk about issues that affect me. And then here I have Wall Street West, where we met at a high school doing high school speaking events, and then connected instantly on having the same goals and about healing the community. Like seriously, like it's not a lot of people that are really genuine, which is why I love my guest that's here today. That are seriously and passionate about it as you are. When you connect with, when God aligns you with someone that is about the purpose that you have, that is amazing.
Right.
That's why I said me and God, we on a whole nother level right now. And so that's another man, right? So that's another guy. I am literally, these are not everybody I mentioned to you have been men, right? So what I said was the healing needs to start. We need to heal our men because we need to change the narrative. I feel like with our Black men and some of the negative images and kind of things that are said, because the only way that we can heal the women is we heal the men, and we come together and we get our families back and we get this vibe, and we both know that we're freaking amazing right together. Okay, so that's a little insight on that. And so those are the things that are coming up, and I got a lot of great things going on. But today, besides it being Mia and Maya's birthday and their daddy's birthday, I had to say it like that. Yes. You know, my life for 27 straight years was no joke, for real. 3 birthdays on the same day. And then my son's birthday is 2 weeks before theirs, which is March 27th. So I have 4 birthdays. I was just always financially, I try not to say word broke anymore, financially challenged during the month of March and April. But we have today with us Cal Early from the pastor of the City of God. And I'm grateful and thankful to have you here. Another amazing man in my life that has similar goals, and just this energy is crazy. So hey, welcome.
Thank you for having me. Just close enough.
Yeah. However, whatever you need to do.
All right, is that better? There we go. I'm feeling good. Just leaving Akron, where my youth program is that we run every Saturday, the Youth Empowerment League. So left there and came straight here. So I'm happy to be here.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Right down. Sound effects. Love it.
Somebody appreciate it.
We appreciate
that's so
you,
important to
yes.
the show. People don't even
Right.
know, man. So
I got more.
oh, okay.
I'm here for
to
you.
have fun.
Don't get me to doing.
Yes, let me make sure I say the call-in number. Again, it's 216-939-5087. Anything we discussed today, let's talk about it. So tell us a little bit about who Pastor Cal is.
So a pastor at City of God, which is in the Commonwealth community, right on 152nd and Pepper. This is going to be my 4th year pastoring there. Before then, I've worked in multiple facets when it comes to political activism and advocacy in our community, really working to do things like raise the minimum wage, working in the area of foster care and adoption, working with juveniles in the court system. I mean, you name it. When it comes to outreach, we've kind of hit every area in the community. And so before pastoring, I was just in the neighborhoods all the time serving. And I think that's where people kind of know me the most from outside of pastoring. I mean, that's now, but before then, that's what the real image of me was like a community leader, leading the marches, protesting, being out there and fighting for our people. And not just fighting for them, but educating them as well. And yeah, so that's me. I'm a family man. I have a wife, 2 beautiful daughters, and just love the city of Cleveland, and I love what I do. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is great. So, but that was a big thing, like to go from being an activist to becoming a pastor. What made you make that? That's a big jump.
Yeah.
What pulled you into that? Because there's a lot of responsibility with that.
Well, it's a lot of responsibility either way. When you're a community leader, you know, people depend on you to stand up and fight on a consistent basis. Like it's nonstop, right? So when we look at the word ministry, we often equate it to just the church, but the word actually means to serve. And so in context, that's what I've always done with community activism when it comes to even starting my own business and what my business does. It's always been serving people. And so becoming a pastor was like, hey, you know, here's this opportunity to expand my calling I never wanted to be a pastor, but I like to serve in the church as well as the community. And so the opportunity came to become a pastor. And I remember saying that it's going to be a faith step because I didn't walk into an opportunity where a church was already built and established. There was a pastor who had retired and gave me an opportunity to start and create a ministry. And we did. And we went and started it, and started with 7 people. And it's grown since then. And it's just been amazing. So it is a jump, but I feel like the responsibility is still the same, just to serve people, love people, care about people.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
That's what's up. I've heard nothing but great things about you.
That's good. I often don't hear that in radio shows.
Really?
No.
I mean, we're going to dig into that too, though. Well, tell us a little bit about what Early Morning Strategies is.
So Early Morning Strategies is a company that I started. I have always worked in the realm of event management and event planning, as well as marketing, and then political consulting. And so I took all of those skills and I just created Early Morning Strategies, which is a company that helps you develop strategies for outcomes. We do project management, whether that be getting nonprofits off the ground, whether it be running programs. And then we're also looking, we also have built our brand in terms of political consulting. So when elected officials run for office, our company, they will call to help when it comes to outreach, strategy, messaging, that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's Early Morning Strategies.
Yeah.
Like on
I
business.
can see you being a strategist. I see it.
Try to win. Yeah.
First of all, I love your hair.
Thank you.
It looks so nice.
Thank you. 3 years. We've been growing this for 3 years.
Looks nice. I love lights.
Yeah.
So I was talking about like things that have been going on with me and things that I've really been seeing how God has been aligning me and just really paying attention to your journey, and the ups and downs, all of that. But what do you feel like? Because we all know right now it's kind of like the vibe in our community with our youth definitely needs a whole lot of healing.
Right.
And I mean, it starts with us definitely, but it's just almost like they don't feel like they have a sense of hope, or a sense of, they don't have a lot of leadership. What do you think that is really needed in our community with the youth, with us as a whole Black family community, our village? What do you see that the village needs, and then what do you feel like the youth needs?
Man, that's a tough question because we need so much.
I
I think the first thing that comes to mind is every individual understanding that they have a role to play in the village, right? No matter how big or small. Every insight, every idea, every piece of wisdom and knowledge is needed as a seed for it to grow in other people's lives, right? And so oftentimes we try to cater what we desire to do to help other people based upon the magnitude of what other people are doing. And I'm like, nah, like if you get 5 people and you start to, nurture them and plant seeds in their life and help them grow, you are making an impact. You are making the change that we want to see, right? And oftentimes there's this big picture, like we all gonna change at the same time. That is not the case. And so I think we all have to understand that everybody's role is important when it comes to the village. Number 2 is, I think it starts with the youth. Of course, we'll say it starts in the home, but mothers are getting younger and younger, right? And so it starts with the youth. And what I would say is credible sources planting seeds in their life, right? And when I say credible, I'm saying outside of the negativity that they're already exposed to, someone coming along and planting those seeds in their life. I know that for me, I started my work working with youth. I had the great opportunity to serve at the city mission as the after-school program coordinator. And we were seeing over 200 kids a day sometimes. And to this day, I can still bump into those kids, and some of them I've mentored, and they've turned out really, really well. And then I started to work with adults, and I got frustrated.
Yes, Lord.
Because I heard you talk about men, and it's like, okay, well, man, how do you approach this? Young men or men, that feel like they don't have to listen or want to listen, right? And there's no, I don't have the energy to fight with that. So I think it all starts with young children, and that's my story. I grew up, and I was in the court system. I was in the foster care system. I did time as a juvenile, but what I do remember is different individuals planting seeds in my life, and it eventually grew. And a lot of youth are missing. They're missing the positive influences.
Big time. Big time. Like that is the key. Like that is the responsibility when people say you wear yourself thin. I'm like, somebody got to do it. I can get some more people to join me in this journey, and I can chill out. But I think that is, people need to see somebody that looks like them being successful, but has been through it. Me and Wes were talking about that last night with this thing that we're talking about doing, and he goes into the prisons. I used to go to the prison at Green Road, Cuyahoga Boys, for 4 years until COVID. 4 years straight, every Thursday, faithful. I look forward to it. I did it through Mount Pleasant Baptist. Shout out to Dwayne Simmons over there.
That's a good guy right there.
He's a great guy.
Yeah.
You probably didn't have to be with me right now, but I still love you though. But whatever the case, we would go to the prison. And honestly, the reason why I joined prison ministry is because I'm 47. Okay. I was
amazing, by the way.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. I get that a lot lately. No, but I gotta tell y'all a funny story about last night. But anyway, I'm 47. When I joined that church, and I was being the youth director, I think I was like 42, 43. Okay. I was the youngest person on this ministry. Everybody else was like 70 and 80. And it was great that they were going to the prison. It was great that they were taking the opportunity to go there, but they was taking food. So, the kids that came in there were literally just coming to get some food, but that's cool. I joined because I was like, this is a big opportunity. I would try to get some of the younger guys and members to come, but sometimes they would come. Did get a couple of young ladies to come eventually, but I was like, y'all, we gotta go. They literally, Mount Pleasant just want to get them food, and that's cool. They seeing somebody come every week. They see the love, but they really, when I started going, they were so like, it changed, it grew, it got bigger because they saw somebody that they could relate to. And a lot of those kids need the biggest thing. When I meet somebody, I can tell if you had a good mother or not. Like, for one, I'm definitely an energy person, but I can tell just by your energy, the things, your conversation, the way you move, the way you talk, the different healing things that you need. I can instantly tell a woman or a man like if they had their mother. And these kids in there needed love. Like literally, I had a young man tell me he didn't want to go home. I was excited. I've been coming there for a minute, like a couple of years. I don't feel like we connected, I'm like, when you get out, I'm still connect with you. And he started crying like, I don't want to go home. He was like, Miss Thomas, I do not want to go home because when I get home, nobody gonna wash my clothes. I don't have dirty clothes. I'm in here because I was fighting and getting in trouble and stealing so that I could take care of my younger siblings. My mother don't take, you know what I mean? It's like my mother don't care. And it was like, he had no faith and no belief that when he got out there, anybody was gonna be there for them. And he was so happy to just have peace, number one, in there. And number two, just somebody that cared. And I was literally, that's what I was trying to do, was let him know there are still people out here that really care about you and they love you, and show them what love looks like. And that's so important. That's our responsibility. People can do some major things. You don't have to be super major to make a major impact. It's the little things. So I think it's really important that you are in the community and the things that you do, because they need to see that. They need to feel it. And they need to see the side that you said when you went to prison and part of, being in foster care. So many people can connect to that. So one of the things that I say all the time is about like, don't just practice what you preach, but preach what you practice. The reason why I say that, and this could sound corny, but it is real, because you can practice what you preach all day. That's good. That's for you. That's for you to stay focused, whatever. But you're not helping utilize the gift that you have if you're not preaching what you practice. That means you can pour into somebody else and show them how. You're not gonna tell people what you do. Lead by example. Of have strengthen people's faith as they can see where you've been. Because a lot of people don't even have a clue, because I don't look like what I've been through. It is not a joke. Man. Anyway, so but it's important. So that's something I definitely like to say. Like, preach what you practice. Let people see how you got through it and how you got where you're at.
People learn their actions way before they appreciate your words. So you're absolutely right.
But there's another side of you, though, right? Of Pastor Cal is you said you were into music since we're on the radio show.
Yeah.
You tell us a little bit about your artistic, creative side.
I just I got into music at an early age. So when I was in a group home one time, and during the periods that we would have to actually be isolated in our rooms, one of the supervisors, he would play music over the PA, and it was just calm and relaxing. Like, he was just trying to set a good energy and vibe. He was an older. His name was Mr. Davis. I'll never forget. And so he would play stuff like Anita Baker and Tracy Chapman, are two of the albums that I remember the most. And it was just soothing. It was comfortable. And so then, to keep me out of trouble, my mother introduced me to a family of musicians, the Davis family. And I learned how to play the drums. I learned how to play the trumpet. And not that I was the best at it. I just loved being around music. And it kept me out of trouble. And so then, as time progressed, I learned, just who different musicians were, artists were. I had a knack for like listening to music and seeing if it was like really good. And from there, I became a road manager for a couple groups or local shows and some tours. Did some A&R work. Did some ghost writing.
Wow.
And even wrote some of my own
Renaissance man.
Well, just these were actually outlets for me. Like I said, as a kid, that I never knew were going to be gifts growing older, right? And so when you look at people that want to get into any area, they kind of focus in. So in music, it's like, I want to be the artist, right? Or I want to be the producer. But it's a $1 billion industry plus, $1 billion+ industry, right?
Oh yeah.
And so here you have the opportunity. Somewhere in there is a pocket for you to get resources and still be around something that you love. So everybody can't be the artist. Somebody has to be the engineer. Everybody can't be the producer. Somebody has to be the manager. Somebody has to go out and find talent, right? And so I kind of just learned my knack. Like, I just like hearing different music, and I'm like, okay, that person has it. You know what I'm saying? Or that song it has the potential to be a hit. And so that's how I got into music. And then I actually had started a management company called Early Morning Management. Everything is early because it goes with my last name.
I mean, it's a great way to play on words.
Yeah, it's a branded thing. And so, so Early Morning Management, we managed a couple artists. And the music industry is tough, so you got to have the skin for it. And where I'm at now is I'd rather be a connector, where it's like, okay, I see you got talent. Let me connect you with these people and see where you go from there. So that's the musical side of me. So if you're an artist out there, just send me some music, because I like hearing independent artists.
So that's okay. So I have an artist that's for real.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. Ooh, I just felt something. Ooh, I'm excited because I've been feeling like I've been neglecting him.
Okay.
And I promised him, because I really believe in him.
Okay.
His name is Blase Swoop.
Okay.
I actually had him on my show, but some kind of way I'm supposed to have always been the person to get him wherever, like believe in him and push him to where he's supposed to be, because, and I say that, he was my daughter turned 13. My oldest daughter is 22 now.
Okay.
I'm always trying to do something extra and just different. Like I just like to do, and I love to make people feel good and do surprises, especially on your birthday, right? So my daughter's turning 13, had a birthday dinner, and I was like, I want to do something. She wanted like I think B2K or something was out, right? And she has talked about that. I was like, that would be live. I think big like that if I could have had them like at her birthday party, but that was impossible. It was a struggling young family with college debt and just with a new home, everything. I'm like, no. So I cannot do that. But I think like that. So my good friend, one of my first, well, you met G Unit.
Okay.
G Unit.
Yeah.
Which her name was Delina Swoop. And
And what's the artist name? Because I'm looking them up now.
Blase Swoop, and I don't make me look bad and not know how to find his page. It might be like Blaze. It might be like that. I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm gonna do better. I didn't officially sign on as your manager. I just said I was gonna get you there because I believe in you. Because I would love to do that. I just can't. I don't have the time. I did that once. I managed an artist here.
Okay.
And anyway. So that's a lot of work. Anyway, for their 13th birthday party, she was like, my little nephews be dancing at this little group. And it was like dancing like high school. They were a little bit, I think they were like 15.
Mm-hmm.
So I called her like, I'm gonna pay them, tell them I'm gonna be their first gig because they was really trying to get gigs, like be serious about it. So I was like, I'm gonna pay them. I gave them like $150. Like, so it was 3 on each one, got $50 to come to a surprise and do a performance, talk to the restaurant owner and they got the private room and they came in, did a little dance. My kids were laughing like, Mom, who is this? But they also was excited like, Dad, that was kind of loud. I was like, any of your other friends got this coming? Like it was a surprise. But my thing is, that was when he was young and I saw that. And now, everybody laughed at me about doing that. And I was like, no, for real, he's talented. This is not just like a joke. I see it. But he is super good now. He got a lot of talent. And he performs all over the city. And I just had him on the show and I ran into him not too long ago. And I was like, his whole look, his whole vibe. And I believe in people that believe in themselves 1,000,000 trillion %. He reminded me of my best friend, shout out to Triple OG in Atlanta. Was always like he was gonna be a rapper. And then ended up doing a clothing brand, but he knew he was gonna be in that. Like when we was younger, I used to be looking at him like, oh my God, okay, you're gonna be a rapper, like whatever. But he reminds me of him who now made $8 million last year because he believed in himself and he did clothing. He's not a rapper, but he's in the rapper world and selling out, right? So he got that look too. It's a different look. He is a rock star, not a rapper.
Okay, I got you.
But he a vibe. I've taken him and got him in a little shows. I just can't do it.
Just share
I wanted him to work with him, but
share his page.
I will. So yeah, I just connected you. Look, there we go. We got some connection. Yay. Great.
I'm here.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So if you need some beats, y'all can go to Ears and get some beats.
Well, you want to rap on that? Oh no, I don't.
I'm talking about a young artist that I told him I want him to.
Obviously, I heard it all.
Okay. All right.
Weirdly enough, I hear it.
Anyway. So yes, but people like that, anybody that really super believe in their dreams should have the opportunity to keep going. But you'll get there anyway because that's the energy you're putting out.
Yeah.
You have to be successful, and I try to tell a couple people, I'm like, I'm trying to hook y'all up. Mm-hmm. I'm not even asking nothing right now, but when you blow up, y'all holler at me later. But
check them out.
Yeah, check them out. Anyway, so yeah, that was great that you had I could see that in you though. You got that look. Like you got the crossover look.
Okay.
You got it in multiple ways. Like he got that like bad boy, but also good guy.
Like you can put down the paintbrush and slap shit out of you.
Yeah. It is.
Bob Ross, Rick Ross.
Yeah, all that. Are you eating a Pop-Tart? That is so
I'm having a
unhealthy.
Pop-Tart.
That is so unhealthy.
I know, but I need the sugar.
to wake me
All
up.
right, do what you gotta do
Yeah.
for your life.
Every now and then.
I just had a Reese cup. So
See, Reese cup. Look, you love Reese's.
Everybody loves Reese. But anyway, so being in the community, that's really what I think we definitely need. And I think that's one of the biggest changes that's the only way I think we're gonna change it. Is that we have more people that are involved, like you said, with the youth, because it is frustrating a little bit to try to help someone that's an adult. You're right.
absolutely.
You're gonna get more out of. I like to make a difference now where I can make a difference without the headache. But I don't take anybody on. Like I used to want to heal the whole world. Oh, change the world one by one. Absolutely not. Don't have that type of energy in my life. I only really can utilize my energy for people that I know are ready.
You know, this is my whole technique to it. When helping adults, I'm gonna sit down and give you my attention and hear you out until you talk when I'm talking. And once you start talking when I'm talking, and I know that you're still talking about the same thing I'm giving you an answer to, I know I can't help your mental issue.
That's it.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
I know.
When you got one moment where you be like, oh, they ain't listening.
Yeah. Report mission.
They're not ready.
And I think the other part of us too is those of us who are delivering the help. We gotta understand that the help doesn't manifest itself right then and there, right?
Mhm.
So sometimes you gotta let people walk away with whatever it is you gave them and hope they get it.
They'll get it later.
That's the big thing for me is like hope they get it, because I think the reward for us is God honors us for just being available to help in the first place, right?
Absolutely.
And so,
I like that.
You know, I've learned from me is like, okay, I know this conversation is not going to change their mindset right now, and that's sometime in youth too. I mean, it's not just in adults. I was in the juvenile detention center, and I was talking to a group of young men, and I remember this guy saying it so blatantly to me. He was just like, "Listen, you can't help me because I've already made my decisions." Now he's 16 years old, but what he did say is, "You can help my son, you know, and my family." But I'm far gone. I done made my decisions. This is who I'm going to be. So when you hear that, only thing I can hope now is that the time that I spent with him, he remembers me for at least trying to help him. If he ever needs a positive reminder about life, but then we will leave and like, man, this is why we can't help nobody. Or this is why the community is the way that it is. And I don't think we should beat ourselves up like that. I think we should celebrate the fact that we are at least available to try to be a help. And that seed is planted, and we walk away and let the next person water it and let the next person nurture it and cultivate it. But let's start giving ourselves more credit, because even when you talk about people with their mental challenges and their issues, and this person got this, it's like, man, I got mine too. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Always.
Everybody got something. I say
And I'm
everybody
like,
got
man,
something.
you know what? I gave this person something that I could have gave myself at that moment.
Right.
And so you walk around, you walk away feeling better about yourself because you at least were available to help somebody, even if they didn't know how to appreciate that.
That's true. Because one thing you can learn is that you got to meet people where they're at, and I think everything is. Sometimes we want it to happen in our time, and it's not in our time, and it's in God's time, and so we gotta let Him do His work. Because I got some girlfriends, I love them, and some of them probably listening, and you probably need to hear it. But I have friends where they'll be like, "You need to talk to her." And I'm like, "I'm not. She's not ready. You've been real stuff. Your husband has not been doing you right for 20 years. You know that. And you still crying about it. I will not sit there and be trying to help heal you because you already know who this person is." That's one thing I think we gotta, in relationships, friendships and relationships, just needs to be said, because this has been brought to my attention a lot in the last couple of months. And I'm like, oh my gosh, we gotta do better. At people at all ages, but definitely at 40 and up. Is really be realistic about who you're with and who you're dealing with, and you cannot change anybody, but really change yourself.
Some people just like carrying that bag.
I agree.
Some people just like carrying that bag. They can,
and you can't keep blaming it. I'm for real. I'm not mad at the individual who continues to keep being a cheater and you want me to be mad at that person because they keep doing that to you when they have not done anything but show you who they are. So it's on you to stay in that energy if that's what it is. And that's what anything. If somebody keeps showing you who they are, you can't keep on saying they're a bad person. You keep being around it. You got a choice to be around that energy. They're really, I respect that person because you are not hiding who you are. You are really
Exactly.
seriously saying, this what
That's
I'm
it.
going to do. I ain't going to change. I'm
I
keep
keep that
doing it.
1,000.
And if you keep on letting that happen, you want to be miserable. Now, that's something that needs to be said. Y'all out there, okay?
Right, so my head is exploded.
No, really, and that's with men too. That's not just with women.
Oh yeah, we
with
do
both.
too.
You continue to keep taking something. That's even with me. I say that to myself, and that's why I can say that. And another reason why I say testimonies and things that you go through, obstacles, are really part of your responsibility to learn from it. Especially when you have the gift that God gives you that you need to use, is because you got to be able to. People will believe you when you've been through something versus somebody that's just trying to, you never been through a divorce, but you're trying to tell me how to get through one. You can't really necessarily do that. And me, I definitely don't get upset about the issues with my ex because technically I could have woke up from the mental manipulation a long time ago. That was on me. But I also know that I say this, God, I wanted to be, because I definitely was 100%, 1,000% dedicated to my family and my children. I'm so the soccer mom, like all my kids was in sports, running around, they praise dance, they did this. I believe that everything happened when it was supposed to be happening because I probably would have been able to be as family oriented as I was able to be for that long until my kids were older. So I'm thankful for that. And I also can't be mad at anybody else. I'm just happy for my growth and my healing. That's what we got to get. We got to take from what we went through and see how that was to make us be a better person and get to the next level. That's what I think a lot of us are missing. This anger and that hatred and that bitterness just tears away from your vibe. You'll be doing so much more with that energy. Like, let it go.
Don't waste it. Don't waste
Let
it.
it go. Yeah. I don't know how we got there, but that's what happened.
You was just flowing.
That's how we got there. So you got any relationship advice? Oh, you know what? I know one thing. No, I'm gonna hold on for that. You have any relationship advice for Black love? Because since you are a husband, you have a relationship and a family. How do you hold all that together?
I have no advice.
That was smart. There's no advice, really. You don't have no advice, none.
I don't.
Why?
You know why? Because every relationship is different. Every individual is different, and what works for one couple doesn't work for another. So I never had advice. Like my friends. I even stepped away from doing marriage counseling as a pastor because I realized that, in particularly with relationships, people want counseling and help like when all hell breaks loose, and it's like, oh, we about to get a divorce or we breaking up, but then we rarely practice the stuff that we learn in counseling and therapy in our everyday relationships, right? So I have chosen to just, and I don't want to become judgmental of people either. Like, so in those situations, you can hear your friends talking about what their spouse is doing, and you can come to a conclusion. It's like, it's so much. I got my own relationship to worry about. And I just try to figure that out daily. I tell my wife all the time, I'm a horrible husband because I'm learning as I go.
I'm sure.
I mean,
you're too amazing.
She doesn't agree with it, but I'm saying, like, for me as a man, like, I'm learning every day what marriage looks like for me. What the relationship looks like for me. But if I had to give some advice, if you're in love, be in love. Right? Yeah. Just love.
My advice
is
real simple too. Like I learned this, and this where it works. It should work for everybody. However, whatever. If it don't feel good, it's not right. If it feels good, it's right. Now every day is not going to be perfect. I know that. But if most of your days and it just doesn't feel good, you're not supposed to be in it. Honestly,
That's what anything.
that's real. Like that's with life. It don't feel good. That's not for you. Whether that's a job, that's like
Yeah.
what nothing should be make you unhappy. That unhappy, especially at this point. I know if you married young, like I did, I grew together since we were 17. So you go through a whole different bunch of different people. Like you grow into a whole
Different personalities.
Yeah, there you go. I couldn't get that out.
It's all good.
Thank you for having my back. Yeah, so you're learning who you are. You really don't know who you are. I just had this conversation this morning with my son and a couple of his friends. I'm like, most of the time you don't even really know. I think you can kind of see who you are, the core of who you really are when you turn about 30. But the rest of the time, you really growing and learning. You'll be this person 1 minute, and then you'll learn something. Because you learn what you like and don't like, what you're gonna take, what you're not gonna take.
You gotta go through some stuff.
Yeah, you got to.
Look at Kanye, look at Will.
Yeah.
You know what? Don't.
I'm just saying. I don't.
What's your opinion?
The reason why is
You
let's
ain't
brought that up
one of them.
is because we talking
I
about
hate
mental.
no Jada people.
We're talking about mental issues and men. So
I
I
got
thought I'd bring up both the two of the people of the year. They both have
I
a
love me some Will
two
Smith.
different relationships, two different ways of how they going, two different mental issues. But you can see how it affects them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And look at how the world look at them.
Yeah, I mean that's true. I think both of them are super great people.
Yeah,
I love me some
talented,
Kanye.
successful
Kanye,
people.
I love Kanye, and
Oh yeah.
but I can see it's different. I see people for who they are and where they're going and what they're going through.
Right.
But he kind of went for his time too a little bit too, and he a little bit. He went through some mental. Yeah, he went through mental health. It's real, y'all. It's real. It's real. Like seriously. And things, trauma can really take you places you've never been. Really, you gotta take the time and watch who you around and what you with. But Will, one of my favorite people.
And nothing. Did you see this coming from him?
No, and I'm gonna tell you why. And you ever heard of Jay Shetty?
No.
Okay, he's a monk, right? But he's like not your average monk. You gotta look him up. He all about. I love him. And so if you know what a monk, like they real peaceful people, right? And so Jay Shetty and Will have been studying together, traveling the world, and he has been his mentor. Jay Shetty really has enlightened me in a lot of ways. Like he a vibe. He's not that, like I said, different. Yeah. But he and Will, they have been traveling, right? And the light, when this happened, it clicked because I was like, oh, Will is really working on his spiritual side and getting deep, and I feel where he was coming from. Like in the morning, listen to hours and hours of them. I've been because I'm connecting with where he's going, kind of where I'm going, and he has really been doing a deep dive inside and finding his peace and understanding people for where they are. And he's told a lot about his journey with Jada and all that. Okay, right? Because they're two different people.
Oh yeah.
But however, when that happened, what clicked for me was like, that's why the hell he was going through all of that, because he had something he was trying to heal himself because he got something in him, and he got some deep rooted stuff, and he kind of say it when he talked, but he was in a really peaceful place. So I was like, oh, he got to go back to the drawing board. But he literally, it made me go. That's why when you see people making dramatic change, and this is what I always say, when you got a friend that talk a lot and all of a sudden they so quiet all the time, check on them. Something going on. You don't have to be all in business, but you should reach out. Or the opposite, you see behaviors in people that's different. Something probably happening. He was trying to heal himself of some deep rooted stuff that he got, that he was trying to heal from, because that was crazy. I mean, we can look at that whole situation. We could go on for days with that. I just hate that the backlash that Jada has gotten. Like, oh, she a hoe and he could take it. They both was doing their thing. It's not just her dude just had a sucker attack and came out and told everybody.
I don't see.
And Will being like, I don't want to get started, but I got to take up for my Virgo sister because I don't like the way she been. That everybody like, oh, she been bringing them down. Man.
I think again,
I don't like it.
We're from the outside looking in, so I mean, we don't know really what goes on in that household unless they make us
except for what they said.
Yeah, what the show. I personally don't think that the slap was that big of a deal in terms of mental health or defending Jada. I feel like it's Hollywood. Like at the end of the day, it just seemed Hollywood to me. It seemed exactly what it was aimed to do, which was make us talk about it and distract us from the other awards that were given that night to Black people. You know what I'm saying?
This show got people off Kanye ass.
Well, the show got them off for that, but I think the show. I mean, that scene of the Oscars or whatever.
It was a mess.
It distracted us from the rest of the night. You know,
in
terms
we wasn't even caring about the Oscars.
Yeah,
We wasn't even watching.
They absorbed everything. So we missed Samuel L. Jackson getting an award. You know, at that time too. I think we even I know because I didn't watch it until the next day and know about the smack. But at that point, I didn't even want to hear Will's acceptance speech for the award, right? So it was just like a lot of distractions. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I mean, it just seems so Hollywood to me that
it was very Hollywood.
It seemed so Hollywood that it was unbelievable, right? I think whatever.
It's hard to know what that was.
It honestly. Really is. It really is.
It felt Hollywood. It felt staged.
It felt
unstaged.
Produced.
It felt
to me like something that he kind of clicked out of his mind of character and did, because like if you look back at how Willow Smith was chopping off her hair and was doing how she ended her whole career over with my hair back and forth. You know how she really had a whole issue with that. You know what I'm saying? Was cutting her hair off on stage and everything. I think that it all came. And then also, a lot of people don't know this. The G.I. Jane joke was a lot more than her hair. Like that.
Alopecia, she had just cried about.
More than just that.
What?
That actor was sleeping with a young dude as well. The actor from the movie did some junk just like she did. Or some thottish junk.
I don't know if it went that deep.
No, it did. It did. That joke had a different lanes to it than people know. The actor, if you look into it, the actor
lanes that and perspectives that people bring in that could be factual, right? Let's just say
the joke had lanes.
Yeah, let's just say Will just had a moment where he just wanted to smack him because he was being disrespectful.
Well, let me tell y'all what. So I went to.
I don't think that Jada is at any fault in this though.
No, I don't think she was the most.
Nobody is at fault. Nobody can make you do anything.
He did it on his own.
Yeah, those who are bashing.
She looked at him. He got up on his own and slapped that man. She didn't say,
"Go slap." Well, let me tell y'all what Kim Whitley said. This was hilarious. It was so funny. Shout out to Kim Whitley, who was here at the Improv last week, right? She was like, "We got to talk about this. The elephant in the room. We got to talk about the smack." And she was like, I'm cool with Will and everything. She was like, "But he had just finished doing the." Movie
Richard,
right? She was like, she said it was actors. Oh my gosh,
he was still in role.
She said he was still doing.
Oh yeah, he was still in role.
Richard mentality, and she said you had the actor effects when you had to go there. She said so he came up there. She was like, look at his speech. His speech was like, protect the family. We gotta. We gotta. She was like, he came up there like she said he couldn't let the Richard in him because Richard would have slapped your ass.
He said that from the beginning.
That was funny though. That was hilarious to me. And I was like, yeah, it could have been that. Who knows? It don't matter what it was. I do think this. Out of who cares whether it was staged or not staged, right? My issue, honestly, is that it still was awful to see another Black man just go slap another Black man on TV, on stage.
It was a little light skin versus dark skin.
It was not. They both. Who was light skin, dark skin?
Will Smith is considered light skin, and Chris is definitely considered dark
Chris
skin.
Did not show his dark skin energy.
And but we can't expect that from him because Chris already came out.
No, I'm glad he held his own. It would have been worse for us if he would have swung back. It would have been.
He knew that man. The man said he ran from everybody his whole life. Look at him. Caruso couldn't. You know what I mean? Like
it was a trip. Anyway, I don't care nothing about the slap. My whole point of this conversation was to stand up for my girl Jada, who is a Virgo. And Corey Holcomb went in so hard on her. It was like she called her a hoe, a skis. Like so many people, like they really like going in on Jada, and I just wanted to show her some love because it's not cool. It's such a bias when it comes to things with men and women, and they do.
It's about
We-
ego.
we
You know,
all
our manly egos is always
absolutely
going to speak on the
Absolutely.
fact that they think that she's wrong. But you know,
She-
Jada.
but guess who? What
she
I love
mastered
about
her own-
Jada, she don't give a gosh darn what y'all think.
She mastered her own.
That's what I
self.
love.
I think the whole
She ain't tripping
family
on
is
y'all.
like that.
She had to fine tune
She
that. thing.
like, okay, and
Right.
The whole
I
family
love
is
that.
like that.
I love that.
But
That's my girl.
I brought it up because of the mental issue, though. Issues between Kanye and Will. That was, and you're a
Yeah.
life coach, so you know I know this
Purpose
might
coach.
jump purpose coach. If you did have some advice for these two men, because a lot of us go through those issues. We ain't got media millions to move next door. I didn't have millions to move next door to my baby mom. I had to ride around the block. You know when she got,
That's
you
why
know,
we're talking about that on April the 30th.
you know, we all went crazy over our baby. Like I don't know if you did.
No, everybody did not go crazy over
Not
their
crazy,
baby
but I
mama.
feel what you're saying.
I did. I had an issue, you know, because I had an issue where I would have to leave the one day and he came in, and another dude came in the next day. It was literally like passing elbows.
Yeah.
So that to have your life change that quick, it kind of changed a lot of your mentality. Because as a man, you think about settling down with your family and taking care of things. Even though I wasn't doing the best, like you said, you was learning things, and I was learning how to be, trying to be. You know what I'm saying? Legit and not legit sometimes, the best way I could be. So, you know, you go through those things. But then when you have a life-changing issue where, oh, she gonna take the baby and move or something, like it left me sitting there for a while. Like Mr. Fofo just left. He took a 10-year hiatus on music because he had kids and stuff like that.
Good too.
Oh yeah, I remember him.
He was really
He
good.
came to
He did
Youngstown
a
10 years
freestyle
ago.
right before my show. He did a little freestyle. It was hot.
Yeah, he came to Youngstown 10 years ago, and I seen him perform, and I was watching for him. He disappeared, and I don't know why.
Wow.
And I'm like, I disappeared the same way as an artist for 10 years.
Wow.
How old are you? Is
I'm 35.
how old are you?
41, 42, 42.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
yeah, you have those things
You're
go
not that
change.
much older.
I know.
Because y'all can walk us into anything. You see it.
Absolutely, women are powerful.
Y'all can walk us into sit down and be, you know, I was.
Women that know their power are powerful.
Right.
All of us got power.
So once my kid got 5 years old, and it was a little bit less of the stress of being there for him around the house,
Mhm.
I was put out the house pretty much. And that changed my whole life. So I understand mental issues probably
you
could
have
have
to, my
came
advice
from
would
that
be
shit.
to get to the core of it and really just work on self.
Right.
We get caught
There
up
you
into
go.
why somebody else did this to me, what they doing, how they doing it. When you just 100,000, had to learn this. Focus on yourself, and when you are really cool with who you are at the core, a lot of issues go away. I promise you. I can't stress that enough. I'm not saying your life becomes perfect, but you protect your energy and your mindset, and you work on it. It's something you work on every day. So my advice is to work on it every day. That's why every single day I stress. It took me a long time to get here. Is that you got the way you start your day is the way you end it. So when you wake up in the morning, it's important to try and begin your day with good energy. Like start off thinking that today is going to be an amazing day. Start off write out goals so you don't get off track. So you know it. So you can protect. That's how you protect yourself from getting off track and other things to bother you. Is you have an agenda that you need to complete today. This is what you're gonna do, and it's for you, and it's for your mental health. So you start off processing in a positive manner. That's it. I mean, it's really, and once you do that, it takes 28 days to create like a positive habit that sticks. You gotta do it for 28 days. You do that, you keep doing it, it just becomes a lifestyle habit.
See, my thing is this though, and I ain't gonna pressure too much, but it's hard for a lot of men because with females, you know, it's easy to say I'm gonna think for myself because when you have children as well, you thinking for yourself and them, and you know when you move, they move just like that.
Right.
But us men ain't the same. When we think for ourselves, sometimes it's either cutting them off so that we can focus to be a better for them, or you know what I'm saying, having to deal with a lot of stuff that come with that don't come with that. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to say.
No, I do.
So it's hard sometimes for them to get out the murky water of negativity when you got somebody pouring the junk in the water. Like,
But that's your responsibility to allow, because you are allowing them. That's why
not me personally, my baby mom, we good.
I say
But
this.
you know what I'm saying? I got
No,
people
in
who-
general,
yeah.
people I say is advertisers competing for the real estate in your mind every day. The TV is the advertiser. Somebody that wants to change your mentality. They want you to, it could be somebody that like you or want you to work for them or whatever. They're all competing to get in your head. You got to make a decision what you're gonna let in and what you're gonna surround yourself. It's kind of simple, but it's not simple to get there. It is once you get there.
Well, I think for men, we process things different. And this is not a sexist thing, but the weight of life is heavier on us than it is on women. Because we are, especially black men, right? And
I wouldn't say heavier. I'm just gonna help you out on this one. I think the challenge is the same, but I think the problem is that we have less control.
I was gonna get there, but I still want to.
Let's
For
see what
me,
he has
I want
to
to
say.
use heavier.
Okay.
I do want
Got
to
you,
use
got you.
heavier.
I actually do believe that it's heavier.
Which makes it more difficult for us to carry that load of life.
Right.
And we're not talking about just family. We have outside forces that are against us as well. So we fight with the world, and then we fight at home, and then we fight ourselves. Right? That's a good way to look at it.
Yeah.
But I think that for me, everybody's process is different. So I'm just speaking for me as a man. As a man who had anger issues and self-esteem issues and was trying to figure myself out as I got older, I realized that there's a certain place in life that I cannot handle being in, if that makes sense. So let's just take anger, for instance. There's a certain point of anger that I know if I get to, there's no coming back from. So I don't want to get there, right?
Oh yeah.
And so if anything, doesn't matter who it is, has the capacity to push me close to that point, then I have to cut that off.
Right.
Because it is healthier for me to continue to live within my means and not change for anybody else. If that makes any type of sense, right?
Yes.
And so for me, I've learned this thing that my oldest daughter's mom, we don't get along, and that's kind of affected the relationship with me and my daughter. And there was times where I just wanted to just go off completely, right? But then I was like, I can't allow them to have that much control over me, over me. Now, there are other things that do, but now we just got to balance that stuff out, right? So there's things that get me heated and take me there, but I know I can't let this do it. There are things that pinch a nerve or even hurt my feelings as a man, if we just being honest, but I know over here I can't let that happen. So I think those are struggles we all deal with, but as individuals, we all go through a different process of how we heal and acknowledge that growth in our life. Now, I will say this about Black men. I think you should celebrate yourself more. I think we should celebrate ourselves more than what we do, because we succeed more than we fail. I just think we bought into a narrative that just is not real for us. I'm talking to Black men who, come from being homeless to now owning a business, that might have walked away from their dream but are now back at their dream, had to make a decision for their children and are excellent fathers in spite of it. So what society says success is for us is not really what it is. We should celebrate ourselves more and stop beating ourselves up. And that will start our healing process, because nobody can celebrate you more than you can celebrate yourself.
Amen to that. And that's real. That's why I said, and I made that post about it yesterday. I'm being pushed to be that for some kind of way, that vessel to show the Black man in a better light. God has put that in my life, and I can't ignore it because it's coming from every which way. The event that we do, the poetic therapy, when you think about poetry, you kind of just think of there's always going to be more women than men ratio kind of thing come out. Just usually doing so many events. It's been even, but it was so many men that were vulnerable that talked about their issues And you can see the women looking and having some compassion because they were actually honest about how they felt. And I think that's the problem that we have in our community because black men do for real have it tough. I know they do. That's some real. They literally have to be strong and have that image, and they were raised to be that way. And we have to change that too. You don't cry. Figure it out. You a man. A man is equated with being super strong and not, you know what I'm saying, the protector. You got to do that. You're supposed to put food on the table. You're supposed to make sure everything, if something falls apart, they, instead of looking at the woman, they looking at you as the man, like, that was your family. Why you ain't holding this down? Like, you have a lot on you. And then the world, the society, what society has put on the black man is major. And this, black women deal with it too. But black men, it's a lot. You can't even drive down the street. Got to make sure you hope that you make it home. It's serious stuff out here. So I do believe that we have to change it. But what you said, there are a lot of great men out here. One thing I say it all the time. You heard me say it on the show many times. Women be saying all the time, like, it ain't no good black men. It's like, I be good black men all the time. But I think it's the energy you put out because you literally go out with this, he ain't gonna be right. He ain't gonna it's what the energy you put out is what you're gonna get back. I
Well,
really
a good
believe
black
that.
man doesn't mean that that's a good black man just because you met him and he was nice. And he was
No,
good.
I'm not. I don't. You're right.
Ladies, you got to put in the work to accept it, and men do too. So we're talking relationship factor, but put into the work to accept beyond the good that you see when you first meet.
I wasn't talking about relationship.
Okay, got you. Okay.
I honestly mean
because normally when women say it's no good men out here, then that means relationship factor.
Relationship, right? But so I'll tell you what my definition of a good man is, so we can be clear. Because my definition, everybody got their own definition.
What's your definition?
What turns me on and what makes me excited and make me feel good about a black man, number one, they have to really care about other people. I like a man that take care of that believe to take care of themselves. They are family oriented. They do things in the community, and like that is so sexy to me that you could really get out there and really be involved with the community and really take your time. It take a lot from you and have that's a character trait that you would go out and really take time out of your day to really go and try to help somebody else be a better person and see the need for it and really use your time and resources to do that. Also, I love humor. And they believe that women are amazing. Like any man that believes that, I think you got to know that. But also, someone that likes to have fun. But I do believe I meet a lot of good guys actually that work in the community, and maybe it's because of the stuff that I do. It could be that too. But like the guy I just met, he's married, got a family. I can see that he's passionate and loves his family oriented life, but he also is really serious about the community connected with him. Even hanging at the cigar lounges. When I used to sell my candles and I used to do my love yourself things, I'm gonna be honest, the men were the main supporters other than, saying they might have wanted to, might have thought I was easy on the eyes or just love my energy. Other than that though, really, honestly, it had nothing to do with that. It was a lot of men that were just like, I want to support you. I love the fact that you're out here being like really uplifting me. It was nothing to do with flirtation. I got that a lot. Like seriously, they are amazing. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Shout out to the candles. I need some more, by the way.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah. This one of my salespeople over here, right here.
They did wonders in my office. So yeah.
Thank you for that. Yeah, y'all hear that out there?
Which one was it?
I can't remember. I just told her to give me two.
One was positive, your favorite, positive energy.
Is that the turquoise one?
That one is Savage Love.
Okay.
And then you had a yellow
The yellow one too.
Yep, that was positive energy.
Okay.
That's my number one.
So yeah.
This is love.
I
Actually,
like positive energy too.
Yeah,
that's
that's
the first one you gave.
that's your favorite. The one I gave you when you helped me out that day, the yellow
That's
one.
the
Positive energy.
The first one you gave me was positive energy. The yellow one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's my favorite one. And then I like that other one. I ain't never get a candle yet. The green one or
Prosperity.
the one that got the.
Oh, you want the 8,000 nerves, the sensual,
The
sexual.
one that got the CBD in it.
Oh, CBD. I'm gonna write to sensual, sexual. Just because it was is, that's all you need to. Well, shout out to that one too. You like that one?
Yeah, because like I like the
CBD?
massage. Use the oil for massage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all of them you can use for massage.
They all got CBD in them?
No, but they all are massage oil. Every last candle you can rub on your body.
Okay. Gotcha.
So if I never told you, I gotta do better with that.
Okay.
Yeah, all
I
my
know you
candles
told
are
me
all
about
natural.
the CBD ones, but okay.
It's all of them. See, so since we said CBD, number one, you know Deidre Hope. You like Deidre. You know Deidre Hope?
I don't.
Everybody knows Deidre. She's holistic healer of Cleveland. That's what I call her. But she's probably promoted you. She's promoted every black person, black business. She all about that. She is also. I have a business called Them Grow Girls.
Okay.
Did you know that?
I did.
Okay, so I have a business called Them Grow Girls where I went to Oklahoma and purchased land. I'm growing to grow. She's my partner.
Okay.
We went in on that. We also sell CBD. This is bad, you know that, because I am the biggest person about to tell everybody what you do or you're not doing your job. But we're going to have a big event coming up in June. But we also have the best CBD in the world, because most CBD is like 500, 2,500. You might find my CBD is 8,000 milligrams and 12,000, and we get it straight from Sweden. And you know, Sweden is where all the best herbs come from. The marijuana, all of that, Denmark, all that. That's if you do your research, you already know that. Well, anyway, so we want the best. That's what we got it with the only. Hey, Mark, that's funny. We are the only company, which shout out to two black women entrepreneurs that own a CBD company with 12,000 milligrams. And the reason why I'm the salesperson, I'm the vibe of the company, and I'm still learning. Now, I've never learned this much about marijuana CBD in my life, but everything about it is about healing. It really does. And Deidre is a really holistic healer in real life. She actually comes on, and her mother passed away this morning. So I was a little off like this morning getting it together coming in here, because that was just really sad and very unexpected. So rest in peace and a lot of love to you, Deidre. She comes on my show every week and does the Dem Grow moments, like 5 to 10 minutes, and gives you healing factors. And she's healed a lot of people from ailments, like naturally.
So you're getting into THC as well?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
So we have both products. But yeah, I'm actually growing marijuana legally in Oklahoma. So I went there in October, and we made a purchase, took all my savings. That's why anybody want to donate to my funds, since I used all I had. You know. But no, it was one of my biggest investments ever did. For me, still rebuilding, it was big, but it was, I know it was going to pay off in for more ways than one. Literally, we definitely want to have the best products ever, and it's good for our lives. Okay, there's so many good properties, and she usually comes on and talks about all of that. But 12,000, if you're in pain, and the reason why we got those, we're gonna have a little lower so it can be cheaper, because it's not cheap. It's cheap considering what it does. You can take yourself off of pain medicine. The 12,000 really heals your pain. We actually got this is so bad, y'all, and I'm gonna do better with my life and my memory. Well, there's a football player, it's the new one, and he got African name. Oh my gosh, I should know. He's one of the newer guys that came on the team this year. You know what I'm talking about? Do you remember? Okay, anyway.
You should be remembering.
I should. It's awful. This is bad. And I will come back, give him a shout out. But we have him. The reason why I probably blocked it out is because while it was happening, My Super Bowl team was trying to get in there, and I was feeling guilty for healing somebody on the Browns team. I had a lot of internal issues with that, but for pain, it takes away the pain. But you're not gonna get it. People will sell you anything, and why people think it doesn't work. You gotta have a high dosage of CBD if you really want to take away the pain. It's so good for mental health as well, for anxiety, which is on the rise big time. So there's so many properties, but anyway, shout out to them, Grow Girls. We will be out here in these streets. We're gonna have a big convention with all the people in the community that are involved in CBD and THC, and we haven't came up with a name yet, but cannabis and CBD. So, and yes, my candles have CBD in it, and it's for anxiety. Yeah, you supposed to get some. You need to get the CBD.
That's what I hear. No,
You
the
need to
actual
get it.
oil.
Yes, you need that for your pain.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I'm
For
seeing it
real.
right now.
Because when people are in pain, it's hard to be in good mental health. When you're in pain every day, you got to deal with just that. It's a lot.
It's hard for me to sleep, so that's where it really I get very upset at like 2-3 a.m. because I want to be sleeping like everybody else and I can't. And especially like today, I had to be up at 9. And it's like, oh, it's 3-4 a.m. I still ain't sleep.
Yeah.
And I got a $6,000 bed, still can't sleep. Go on the couch, can't sleep.
Yes, that's who it is, Mark. Thank you. It's Jeremiah Owasawa, whatever his name is. I know his name.
I ain't never thrown
Anyway.
this basketball.
If you go on my Facebook page, Mark put it on here. And what did you say? Mark said people have to define a good man or woman for themselves. What may be a
That's
good
true.
man or a woman for one person may be a terrible person for another person. And that's true.
That's why
It's all about compatibility instead of good or bad, I think.
that's the key word right there.
Some people, this is a bad relationship. A relationship worked perfectly good
for them.
and be together forever. Like, you know.
Yeah. I know a couple that argues all the time, but they love each other. Like, and it's,
I know. Yeah.
you know, they it's not like they argue to the point of abuse, but there's always a conflict. It's
Right.
the sky's blue, and then the other one will say something else, and then it's an argument.
They ain't going nowhere.
But they ain't going nowhere. When you talk about love, they love each other, you know, and their relationship is what it is for them. They're
committed to the fight.
compatible. They're compatible
Yeah.
for each other. So everybody's not compatible with one another, and that's right. Good looks doesn't mean you're gonna be together forever.
Right.
That's true. You gotta have some substance. You gotta look beyond that greatness that you meet
Man.
when you first meet them. But I do think we talked about relationships on the show the other couple weeks ago. You definitely have people go off of that initial chemistry because you meet somebody, you like the way they look. There's nothing wrong with that. But then you have fun in the beginning and you want to have some substance because if you're gonna be in something that's gonna last longer, you definitely gotta be really pay attention to what you're choosing in life now, right now. When you're young, live it up. I say, because how you gonna know what you like and don't like? Have fun, enjoy yourself. But right now, the decisions you make, that's on you. I mean that for real. Like my cousin, 50 years old, he want to tell me about some chick. I'm like, now you knew she was like that before. You knew she was jealous. Now you mad because she going crazy. You ain't see that on. I seen it. I only met her twice.
Like she the one. Like 50.
You gotta be responsible.
It's the reason why she's still around here waiting with you.
And then I mean, he also is 50 with no kids, and he
And she gonna
enjoys
learn
his
the reason
life.
why. No,
And that's why you ain't, because she see right through you.
there you go. I was saying it as a joke, but
No, it's
reason,
real.
she gonna learn the reason why. Yo.
And I be looking at them too. Like I promise, the girls that done cried over on my shoulder over my cousin. I be like, I look at them like, so you didn't see, because he does not change. He kind of can be an ass, but he's definitely very easy on the eyes. He's very responsible, but he loves women and he enjoys his life. And he was in the military. He can do some things, so he deserves it. But he can be a trip and a little ignorant, like. But kind of, you know how you can be sometimes, you know, just ignorant as hell sometimes, like just say whatever. But then girls be turned on by that. Then I be looking at them like, what you hate this person? So that's your fault. You know,
Because you know it's a whole game to it. It's like this. if you the nice person, and you the nicest person in the world, if you do one thing wrong, you are now the bad guy. You're like, oh,
Man,
watch out for him. But if you the bad guy all the time and you do one nice thing, they be like, he's so sweet.
Yeah.
I've learned
There's
that.
psychology.
Yeah, it is. You like what you like. That's it. You like what you like.
That's
Like,
the
it
end of the
is
story
what it
right
is.
there, yeah.
It's the, you like what you like.
You like what you
You
like.
know, that's it. So today I'm going to, I gotta go to a dinner tonight. My twins are having a birthday dinner, and we're going to a place called the Filter Experience.
Yeah, just over there.
Yeah, it just opened up.
It's called the filter.
Yeah, look it up. It's
Like
on
Facebook
vibe.
filters.
It's
Filter
black
experience.
owned because they want to go to Capitol Grill, and I was like, "Can we go to something? We got some nice stuff in our like. Can we do something different? I don't want to go there."
So it's a lot of new restaurants that are popping up, black owned,
Mm-hmm.
good food, classy spots.
We was
Got a
just talking about that
DJ.
last night.
There's a
Doing a show
DJ.
like that. Going on a food tour.
Yeah,
That would be dope.
Because I'm Cleveland, and I don't know nothing about the East Side food, but that's where I heard it's all that.
Where you from?
I'm from Youngstown.
Okay.
And
what you mean by the East Side food?
like, you know, I
Like
heard people
open
saying
pit or
stuff
something?
like I had open pits, I had Angela Mia's or Mia Angelo's, but like I hear about like Kim's and Dion's and Leon's and Capitol Grill. I even seen John John's last night out there.
Capitol Grill.
Yeah, John John's just opened up. Is that on the site?
And he used to
Right
have
by,
like
Smoking Divas.
but that's
East
been
Cleveland.
over there.
Yeah, I've never
That's
seen
been over there.
those
East
restaurants.
Cleveland, John John's been over there.
I just
Yeah.
heard about it. Like
It's been there some
maybe last week.
years.
I just heard about it. Somebody said it just opened, so I was just learning about it.
Now I think he might have expanded or maybe it moved. I don't know.
A couple
But it's,
franchises open.
he definitely been there for a long time.
They said it's good.
Yeah, Grill 55 is a
Grill
dope
55,
spot.
yeah.
The filter experience would be nice.
For a young crowd, like I said, yeah, I could see because they got the DJ and you got
Well,
the
if you
whole.
go, you got to depend. It depends on what time you go. So if you go
Probably,
earlier, you know, then
I don't know. I've never been there.
But then it does turn into a nightclub at some point at Grill 55.
Wow.
It's pretty dope. Renee's place is always good.
Renee's place. I always talk about them on here.
Yeah.
I ain't never
Yeah.
heard of these places. Like,
Yeah,
I heard about a Jamaican spot that had like a club in it that was a restaurant.
The Africa on Mayfield.
Something like that.
That's a whole vibe.
No, there's another one on right by 116th and Continental. I can't remember the name of it.
It's like a restaurant.
But I like Jamaican food. I haven't been to that one. I like Jamaican.
There's a difference between African food and Jamaican food.
Oh,
Right, I'm
big
talking
difference.
Jamaican because I like
'Cause
jerk
I like
chicken.
Jamaican.
I like jerk chicken. So,
Yeah.
Oxtail.
Ochos Rios is good. There's
What's your favorite drink?
Oxtails and the cabbage.
I would say right now.
Because you could cook too, can't you?
I love to cook.
Yeah.
I love to cook. Yeah.
Follow
Follow me on
Renaissance
Instagram.
man.
Yeah, follow me on Instagram for
Oh,
recipes.
you cook.
You make good jerk chicken.
Yes. Yes. And I'm not bragging like I won't.
Next time you come on the show, like you make me some. Bring it in, thank you.
Right.
I said, okay, I'm put you on the spot. Are you gonna do it? Say yes. Say yes.
I can see. I'm never gonna lie. I gotta see what the schedule is like.
I mean, we
Because I
gonna
normally bring
you're
gifts and
gonna
stuff for my co-host show.
pre-plan
We're
it.
gonna pre-plan it. Okay.
Oh.
All right.
Say yes.
All right.
See,
I didn't say
that's
yes,
it.
but I
That's
said all
what
right.
me. Say yes.
Right.
See the pressure from the women.
That's right. How you gonna get what you want if you don't get what you want?
Yeah. You know, but you know, us man, we got that type of I want to, you sure you do want to cook it and you see how it affects somebody else besides.
But see, as a man, the first time we say yeah, and then we don't.
It's up.
Then now
You see, you're a good guy and you do that one bad thing.
Like I don't do promises. I don't do promises. I
See,
promise.
yeah,
I'm very
smart.
careful with those as well.
Yeah, I don't do those. Like
I say I'm doing my best.
I'm very much like let's take it day to day because tomorrow ain't promised. Kind of
Right.
thing. And we can plan in advance for some stuff.
I also believe too is where you're at with that person and what's going on with whoever you. Because some people you'll make a promise because you at that time you really feeling like you want to keep that promise. I'll just say that.
No, it's definitely.
You
times-
know what I mean.
Yeah, but I'll just
Like-
say, you got my word. You got my word.
Yeah.
I will, promise. I tell you that word.
Some
Especially
people
when
can make
women hold on
promises.
to
They don't
that
have a
one.
lot to do in their life, but somebody that is super busy, I'm
There
very
you go.
careful about seriously because some people can easily say, I can do that.
Yeah.
Cause ain't nothing else to do.
Yeah.
I have to be very careful. Again, wrapping my time and my energy. So
Me all day.
it got to be worth it for me because I got a lot to do.
I got studio sessions stacked up again. Oh, there's so many people waiting on me to show up. Your careers are depending on me. Yeah, I'm doing that. I do this, do that, do this. So I get it.
So anyway, with all of that said, what is Jeff coming back? What is show?
He found his way
Are
on
you
here.
doing it or what are you doing it?
We haven't decided on that yet.
Oh, okay. I ain't gonna put you on the
But I
spot.
might give her
Because Jeff don't play. Jeff is
the right side.
that's right, the right side. I love you some Jeff. I really do.
I don't play, man. Hey, Jeff, the only
Jeff
person
is
who's good at
G
getting
for
mad he the only person I know who really he can get mad with nobody else in the room but him. Like, and be looking at the ceiling and going in with nobody in. Not, y'all talking to me. Y'all talking to each other, me or cameras. He be talking to one of these drop ceilings. And
Jeff is a G though. He's very. What I like is he is very good at have a radio voice and he has his information. He is an old school vibe that he on for real. Jeff don't play. I think Jeff.
Truly for that W of the week.
Jeff used to be a gangster back in the day. He just
yeah.
he come off with this mild manner, but he for real was. I think Jeff.
I think Jeff, he pull his gun out of his top pocket and hold it down on the low level.
Right.
I think he's one of them keep it moving.
I love me some Jeff, but he come on the right side's coming up and he don't play. You got to get out his way at 3:00. Jeff want to get on here. But if you had something first of all, tell us about your brunch. You got a brunch coming up.
Yeah, we got a few things coming up. So we got I'm doing two brunches. One is called Healing with My Homegirls. It is centered around mental health. It is a partnership with Counseling for the Culture, and It's Not a Moment, It's a Movement, which is my nonprofit. And it's a free brunch that we do for women to come and start the process of learning about therapy and counseling and ways to heal with your own girls, amongst yourself. One of the things that I'm learning is some people aren't comfortable going to therapists and counselors right away, but if we can create, language within our circles and safety within our circles for people to communicate how they're feeling, then that's a step toward healing. So that's that one. And then we do our fundraiser, the Movement Brunch, which is April 23rd at the Loft down on the lake.
I got my ticket.
You got your ticket. Thank you so much.
Y'all get y'all tickets.
Yes.
Get your ticket.
Tickets are $40. It comes with brunch and a mimosa. Our parties are always a good vibe. Like they're private locations. The people that come are always good energy people, good vibe
That's
people. And we use it to raise money for the nonprofit. It's Not a Moment, It's a Movement nonprofit. So this year, April 23rd, we are also giving away the It's Not a Moment, It's a Movement Community Inspiration Awards to Village of Healing, which is a Black-owned female clinic in the Euclid area.
Awesome.
We're also going to bless my brother Walter Payton, who does ghetto therapy. And then Brandon Scarborough is from Akron with Dreams Academy. I've seen him start a mentorship program probably about 4 or 5 years ago, and it's been so successful in the lives that he's touching. He just got a grant for over $100,000 for his program.
That's what's up.
I want to give people their flowers while they're alive, and while I'm alive too. And so we're going to honor those people on April 23rd. And then May 17th, we are doing the Mentally Mangled Mental Health Conference for faith leaders. That will be here in Cleveland at Mount Sinai Baptist Church. You can go to mentallymangled.com for more information on that. But the Mentally Mangled brand is centered around mental health, and I'm going to be doing conferences for different pockets. So this one is for faith leaders, and I'm going to come back and do one for social service providers. I want to do one specifically for teachers. Why? Because we all have mental health issues, but we all don't deal with the same stuff, right?
That's good.
When I think about teachers, let me deal with pastors because that's the one that's coming up. We have a lot of vicarious trauma that we carry because we carry the loads of other families as well as our own. So, for instance, in 1 year, me and my wife, we lost a child. And then I also lost a young man that I was mentoring. He left my church about a mile away. He got got shot and killed.
Mhm.
And so all of that in a matter of a year's time frame, on top of
So,
other stuff that I was going through, I wanted to quit ministry, and I had just started. So what I realized is that it wasn't just all my stuff; it was this family, and everything they had dumped on me, and this person and everything they had dumped on me. I took on their pain, their struggles, their troubles, and because I have to keep it all confidential, I couldn't even talk to nobody about it.
Mhm.
So now we're seeing pastors committing suicide at alarming rates. They're quitting their pastoral jobs at alarming rates. Why? Because they don't have the mental health that they need, help that they need to be able to continue to succeed. We're helping people, but who's helping us? And so mentally, mentally mangled is really about this, helping the helper. Like that's where my focus is.
Man, I need some mental mangled help. We all need it though. Anybody that's in a position of power that is you really using the gift that God has given you. Because when you recognize your gift and you know it's a gift from God, and you want to live up to that, right? Because almost when you give the gift, you almost forced to. Things just happen and make you. But when you really take it seriously, that's a lot of responsibility, and you really do have to protect yourself.
Other people's trauma changes your life too.
Mm-hmm.
So when I tell people all the time, if you work for EMS, and you might, be called to do that, but there's going to come a time where you go on the scene, and it's going to mess with your mind for the rest of your life. You're going to see it, dream about it, remember it.
Mm-hmm.
How do you get through those times? And a lot of times, those of us who are helping others, we might turn to alcohol and drug, and that's where addiction comes in. And it all stems from this whole idea of mental health. Us being mentally strong and sustained to be able to help other people continuously.
It's a lot. I mean, I talk about it, and I'm proud of my oldest son, but he definitely had mental health issues. You wouldn't know it if you met him, because he got on there. But I would have to get up and go to work every day. I had times where he would jump out of a window, and I had to look down and see if he was still alive. And had nightmares. I mean, like, I don't talk about stuff like that every day, but I still had to get up, go to work, still take care of the kid. I didn't go tell the girls that just happened because they love their brother. And like, it's a lot people deal with, and you definitely need programs. So I commend you for having and being a part of something like that, because people need nurturing, and you gotta find your therapy. I found what works for me. We all gotta find what works, but I like to grow every day. I say you can learn something new every single day. And right when you think you know how to handle something, you can learn something a better way. So that's why it's really good to have conversations, and get involved and do research about anything that you have going on. If it's diabetes, if it's a health issue, weight loss, mental health, divorce, whatever it is that you have going on, mental abuse, really,
or just being stuck in your career.
Yeah, it could be all
transition of life, or trying to figure out, like, creatives are another, a pocket of people that I want to do a conference for, is because we think about artists and creatives. There's times then when they get blocks, mental blocks, writer's block for those who write, right? That can be frustrating. It could be frustrating to create something so magical with music or art or any type of form of creativity, and then you come to a block where it's just blank space and you're not happy with nothing you're putting out. That could be elevation.
I honestly just kind of went through that.
Yeah, no, that's real.
I just went through that.
I deal with artists all the time who go through that stuff, and it's like, you're still talented, you're still creative, but and we don't always have the answers for that. I've always, kind of connected it to when your mind is going to another level that it's never been to before, so you got to experience it and be comfortable with it. But that's a frustrating point too. So, and I say that because the stigma is that the mental health is always tied to something medically, kind of like that has a medical name to it, and that's not always the truth either. Sometimes it is just a blockage of life, and it becomes frustrating, it becomes challenging, and now you're trying to work through it. And that's just that. I mean, writing my book right now, or working on sermons every Sunday, like the pressure of trying to have a creative sermon every single week, and then you get to a point where there's nothing there, it can be frustrating.
Yes, and that's why you gotta find your good outlet to get that out, so you can figure out how to get back to you. Find your creative outlets, find your therapy, find what works with you, works for you because it's real. And then when you surround yourself with people that really see, even when you're down, and can see your light or see your what you have in you is really important. Because I just kind of went through something where I was like, dang, I feel like I'm not. I really know I'm ready for the next level. Like you feel like I'm right here, and I know I'm past this.
Right.
And I really had a good friend, and he literally was like, "You already at your next level. You don't see it." And then I really sat down and started looking at different things, like, "Oh yeah," and really just kind of checked me and made me remember my blessings and relax. Like, and I saw some things that are really connected to dots. Like, oh yeah. No, but sometimes you get frustrated because we're human. I think people think you're not human, but I'll leave you with this because we got an awesome show coming up, The Right Side with Jeff, and Jeff is awesome. So make sure y'all stay on here and listen in to Jeff. Shout out to No Static Radio, the voice of the revolution. And man, the death that's on this radio station, the CEO, the family, they powerful. The Marie's grandfather, she is that. Reese run this one. He is not here, but she's the owner of the radio station. Her grandfather was Martin Luther King's security guard.
Wow.
And he bodyguard. He was his bodyguard. And I was like, dang, y'all. And then they also are, I don't know if they're one of the first, or if they're not the first, there's only a couple. They have the black owned drag racing company, and they compete and win awards. That's why I was at the IX Center last week. So shout out to No Static Radio. We in here with some really inspirational people that really cares. The voice of the revolution. Resolution. We resolve stuff too. And then shout out to all my people. Stacy BBW. We got Ryan Polk, who's comedian, who's funny. He is funny just when he's not even funny. He's hilarious. And then we got Ryan. I said Ryan. I'm doing horrible today. Ron. I'm talking about Ron. Check Ron out. And then also always tune in to me. What I'm going to leave you guys with today is that remember who you are. We are all made from greatness. And the reason is we're a masterpiece. Each one of you are like a work of art. We're a work of art. There's always, a person paints a picture, it's always a different picture. We all have different qualities. We all have different things about ourselves that are great, but we're all a masterpiece. And why? Because we're a piece of the master.
That's good.
So when you know and you have that in you, and you know you're a piece of the master, you cannot lose. Remember your greatness. Continue to work on your masterpiece, and peace and love. Be a whole vibe, right? Love yourself. Remember, love heals, and always find happiness in everything. There are things that gonna bring you down, but there's always something good in that story. I promise you. Find the light. Peace and love, and watch out for Pastor Cal. The city of God. You go to his page, check him out, and we commend you for everything you're doing. Keep up.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate you.
Peace and love, y'all. Gonna get like that. Hey.
If we happen to be as is that okay? Is it okay if I call you my pride, baby? I ain't no player, I just got a lot of faith. But let me tell you, I like you a lot, baby. I wanna start at the top and the bottom, baby. But you wanna shoot a red bottom, baby. You know I like when you run at your top, baby. She wants your name, yo. I'm only doing cash, I don't need promo. I pull up to the high rise, I'm in the fofo. Inside Coco. I got a feeling like even inside my heart. And I keep up petty just cause I don't do facade. You can see my diamonds even when I'm in the dark. And since you got it straight, you gonna do me. Shawty made that ass touch your cheek. High fashion, like I put some ice on you cause you gotta go. I know I gotta keep my shawty on go. Got that ass to flow. You ain't gotta do it none of these niggas no more. having the beans, is that okay? Is it okay if I call you my private? I ain't no player, I just got a lot. But let me tell you, I like you a lot, bitch. I wanna start at the top and the bottom, baby. I used to shit to really the bottom, baby. You know I like when you run it. If I hit it front and back, she gon' hit it side. If she got a better with her, take her back to mine, though. At 5 in the morning, wild and wild. And I ain't been begging, but she a stallion. Never be on hold to ride. Remember I was pulling up in the back. You know I take her slow when she riding in. This nigga's all in, so shut it on the track and look like the lip on the time. We kick it like tempo. Shawty made that ass cut, you don't need no. I put some ice in because you got cold. I know I gotta keep my shawty on. Got that ass to the floor. Shawty made that ass cut, you don't need no. High fashion, like gold, G-Wagon, I put some ice on you cause you got it cold. I know I gotta keep my shawty on the go. Got that ass to the floor. Having the beans, is that okay? Is it okay if I call you my pride, baby? I ain't no player, I just got a lot of faith. But let me tell you, I like you a lot, baby. I wanna start at the top and the bottom, baby. Then you want to shoot with the red at the bottom, baby. You know I like when you ready for touch.
You taking a picture right here? Hey, brother. How you doing? Doing all right. Oh, you didn't. Oh man, I typed all that out and then I pushed back and it all disappeared.
Really? Just put whatever. I think you got it. Thank you.
I got it. I was gonna do your show, but I just got booked for another show, man. Oh, I know you did that. I like the sweater, man.
Thank
I don't want.
My wife gave it to me last year.
Just answered the phone and got booked. I'm like, I'll book that shit for
Oh, yeah, I got it.
I'm gonna put my camera in a couple months.
This one good. Let me see that picture from last night.
I know. I mean, I didn't check nothing.
What time y'all leave?
I went home, went to sleep.
Yeah.
I can't take this shit right now. You told that story. You heard me say that.
Come on now.
I can't help it much longer. Oh, yeah. Wait, no. You know what? I ain't never turned on my phone. It's a it's an iPhone, but I ain't never get service. Okay, I got your phone. But you got Instagram? Okay, oh yeah, I can text it. I don't usually try to keep my phone and my phone separate. I use this. That's me. I'm all right. All right. Okay.
What's the name of your church?
City of God. You know, you kind of remind me of this picture. Doing from Digital Underground a little bit. Just in the picture right there, looking from afar away, but you look close. Yeah, y'all like to be related a little bit. Yeah, I'm at City of God. 152nd and Pepper. Right by
Hollywood
Hollywood.
area.
Yes, sir. Right down by the library, library on the elevator.